Good morning. Let's see how this flows. It's a beautiful spring day. Finally, we're getting into spring. It's already started. April's coming up. Getting out of March. Let's see here. You know, whether I even post this or not, I'm still not sure. But I've got to say this, and I've got to get it off my chest. Did a lot of soul searching this past winter, that's for sure. And one of the things that I am taking in consideration is getting rid of toxicity in my life. And some of it may not be seem toxic to other people, but it's toxic to me. Hey, we all have our own vices and stuff like that, and we all have our own opinions and stuff. But there's a reality that I keep on jumping into. And it's not my reality. It's a reality. Period. And when I applied it to myself and to those things around me, I realized that there is I won't say right way, wrong way, I won't say, but it's more like a day and night. There is a reality to walk in. Okay? My personality is outgoing. I'm not very articulate. I have my faults. I can claim my faith, but yet there's times I've dropped the F-bomb more than comedians. We all have our quirks, so to speak. But one of the things I realized with me is that a lot of times if I take a stand on something, it's because I've looked into it or investigated it. I can be moved from it a little bit, but if I've looked into it and it's a truth, it's a reality, it's not my opinion that it is plain simple fact. Then if that's the case and I start standing behind it, I can't be walking on eggshells, is what I keep on saying. I'm not walking on eggshells anymore. I know, and it's going to piss off some people, but I'll most compassionately and gingerly turn around and say, this is where I'm at in life, and you need to understand this. And I won't take the foolishness anymore. If a person isn't willing to see reality, I'll be like Jesus and knock on the door twice, and if it doesn't open, I'm walking off. They can come find me. And I don't mean to be an asshole. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be... But I really have a hard time. I'm not walking on eggshells and I'll say it when it comes down to religion. Okay? Everyone has their own faith and all that. That's an easy one. That actually is an easy one. Believe it or not. For me it is. Because I'm open to discuss them all without Bible thumping, without smacking your head, okay? Because it's a huge world out there. But that being said, when it comes down to politics, I'm sorry. We may have our own preferences, but when and what has happened in the past 6 years, especially after the last election, 10 years, whatever you want to call it, especially after the 2020, I'm sorry, this goes beyond red and blue. This goes beyond your opinion versus my opinion, or your candidate versus my candidate. There's a reality and a truth to things, and it directly applies to what transpired in 2020. And I don't, and this can happen 100 years from now. It could happen 20 years from now. It could happen another 10 years from now. But the fact is that I can't walk on eggshells when I see that there's no factual truth behind a person's choice of a candidate that, and I'm trying not to say it, but I can't help but say it, of this past, like this, and this election coming up with Trump. I just can't. We've got a process. Despite the election, we have the process. And that process says, if you find a closely contested race, you can appeal it. You can turn around and ask for an audit. A recount, whatever, however you want to work. You ask for an audit. Okay? That's great. But here's where the rubber meets the road, and we're not talking about blue and red. We're not talking about a candidate or another candidate and your choice. The reality is that one candidate had already been told and already start wheels in motion to say, no matter what, we got your back. And there were people in the back, in the mix of things, turning around and manipulating. Okay? Whether you want to believe it or not, it's a factual truth. Point blank. We wouldn't be going through all this shit if it wasn't. Okay? And that's what I'm talking about, walking on eggshells. I'm sorry. Even if I did vote for a Republican, let alone the main candidate in the last election, to find out that someone turned around and manipulated my vote to push my horse and give him steroids or whatever to go just that much further to try edging it out, I would be pissed. Because it's not winning fair and square. I would be totally pissed off. Okay? And let's be real about another thing. We're talking about a party who bitch and moan about kids all on a tournament, basketball, baseball, whatever it was, all of them getting awards. And saying, no, the only awards that should be given out are the ones that, actually won. Okay, I'm sorry. You have the balls to bitch about that, yet you turn around and are demanding a trophy even though you lost. The integrity, the stark reality to be able to discern that. To be able to discern that isn't that hard. It's not something that you have to really think about. The blatant truth is right there before your eyes or ears. And even if you wanted to bring religion into it, I'm sorry, you're supposed to go with the reality first. And if the reality is chasing you down a rabbit hole that is wrong, I'm sorry. You're wrong before you popped your head into the hole. And so I guess, coming around, bringing it around full circle, I'm having a really hard time. And I'll blatantly admit it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay? A lot of the things that I hold truth aren't because, it's my choice to choose them, but it's not because I made them up and say this is my truth. There is truth in a lot of matters. But it's a sovereign truth that you hold on and believe, like a creed, like a mission statement, like a whatever. You stand by it. And I sit there and listen to people, and it's not even an integrity. It's more of a responsibility, if anything. But I listen to these people and I just go, you do know that, and then I'll throw these things out there, and they look at me like deer in headlights sometimes, or whatever. But the fact that I'm saying them, I can't hold that in anymore. Plain and simple. It's not that I'm getting fired up. I'm not going to beat anybody over the head. Hey, they can believe what they want to. I've just taken a stand on my little island that I am. Okay? And my little island that I am isn't my truth. It's based on a fact. I still say this before. I still crack up that we've gone how many years of watching CSI and Law and Order and stuff like that, and yet you have people that don't believe in forensic truth. You know, it just is mind-blowing. So, that's what I wanted to say. Not too much more I can say. It's nothing but love that I'm doing this. By nothing but love that I'm doing this. But I just needed to get it off my chest. And and say, hey, it's okay to stand on a platform. It's okay to say this is what I believe in. But for God's sakes, let it be standing on a rock. Don't be standing in sand. Don't be standing on a cloud. Nothing but love. Got nothing but love and happy spring.